What's up, Fantasy Freaks? It's Rob, the NRL Fantasy Freak, back with my Round 15 review. It was another great week for me with 805 points, 20 points above the average for the top 1K, and kept me moving in the right direction up to 408. Heading into Saturday, I was 11 points behind the average score for the top 1K. First up, the Knights took on the Roosters. The game was woeful, with the Knights having 13 errors to the Roosters' 12. I expected more from the Roosters, so I was happy to get out of this game with Teddy getting a 53. A nice try assist, 5 tackle busts, and 253 metres gained were the highlights. It was painful to see Wong score a 76. He was great before I brought him, shit when I owned him, and now great again, scoring 66 and 76 his last two. Fantasy can be cruel, but I shouldn't complain. Someone in the top 1K managed to score under 600. That's rough. Lucas with 67 continues to deliver, and he is just awesome to watch. ZDC managed to pick up a 40, and all went to plan on that front. He started off slow but managed to get a few extra minutes due to Radley's HIA. Hunt managed a 29, which was okay, but didn't really do too much. Hastings was back and looked to run a lot, scoring 56. This reduced KPP's output, but he still managed a 51. The next game was the highlight of the week, with Super Herbie going massive with a 99. Some coaches were ballsy enough to slap the C on him, but the majority of us took the sensible approach and had it on Kohler. Herbie was gifted 8 points by Nicarima, but he earned the rest. He is a machine. He is just so fast, strong, and elusive. So awesome to have him in the team. Bostock was the anomaly of the round with 103, just destroying his break-even of 14, and he butchered his 5th try with the line wide open. However, so it could have been more. Nicarima with 81 and ICAT with 69 are proving to be a lethal halves combination, and have this Dolphins team humming. The big talking point from the Cowboys was Drinkwater with 13 points. I had hoped for a 20, but unlucky 13 was even better for me. Being the most brought-in player this week hurt a lot of top coaches. I had been targeting him for this round also, but then pivoted to Teddy and Turbo for the better buy coverage and value. I knew he had a low game in him, and he was unlucky to cop a forearm to the mush from Nicarima, which forced him off with an HIA for 15 minutes. In the final game of the round, the Rabbits almost pulled off a miracle to beat the Dogs, but they were such slow starters they were never really in it. Captain Kohler with 65 was odds on for another 70 plus score, but he was taken off for the last 10 minutes when he caught an elbow to the eye, which may see him out with a fractured eye socket. Tallis Duncan was immense in this game with a 72, and I was quick to change my judgment on him, as I had written him off as a potential trap, as he had definitely not passed the eye test for me. But he showed what he can do, and owners were definitely rewarded, as he was the second highest pickup this week in the top 1K. Ewan Aitken on the other side of the field invariably had a down game of 41, but he still looks the goods. You can't do much when the ball avoids your side of the field, which may be why Wong's scores had dropped off. Nothing to do with his work rate, just the ball staying on the other side of the field. From the Doggies, Carraz with 53 was solid. He is so strong and skillful. He went down with a neck issue at one point, and I thought he was gone for sure, but he rose from the ashes like the beast he is and played the full 80. Preston with 53 was solid if unspectacular. If that's his low game, you'll definitely take it. So looking at the data for the top 1K, as mentioned, I was 20 points above average, which is good. But someone managed to smash the 1K mark with 13 players, which is insane. I'm about 120k behind the average team value, but I don't think that matters too much because I managed to get through this week with 7 keepers out and still beat the average. I expect to perform even stronger this week as my team is stacked. I have just above the average trades of 7.7 with 8. In my last vid, Turbo was top of the trade list, but Drinkwater rose to be brought in by quarter of the top 1K. So it just shows that even the guys doing well can get it horribly wrong sometimes. As mentioned, Duncan was next most traded in, and that was a great pickup. Unfortunately, I don't think he is a pickup now, given he can go low and they have Storm and Dolphins next up. It will kill his cash generation, and you won't want him in your final team. And you might not need him for 18 either. I own the next 5 on the list with Teddy, Turbo, Aitken, JC and Couch all being brought in. Carraz was in at 8 on the list. My issue with Carraz is that he could easily make Origin in 18. He is also a winger, and wing is notoriously a bad position for consistent fantasy output. Being priced so high as well, Turbo was a much easier proposition and only scored 9 less for 320k cheaper. But Carraz does look good, and I could definitely see myself getting tempted in round 18 if he doesn't get picked for Origin. Not much to talk about on the trade outs, they're about the same. I think the Fogarty sellers will be regretting that in 18. I've definitely changed my tune on him and think he could be a great asset for the run home. I've just seen that Manly are going to move Turbo to the centres. That's not ideal, but he has averaged 53 in his career at centre, so there is hope. But with the way his confidence looks, I've not got great expectations. He is a squad player now, not a star player, until he regains that fitness. Hopewadi has looked great at the back, so that makes sense to improve their attack. Garrick will probably move to the wing where he averaged 46 in 2023, so still above what he's priced at. He'll do a job until round 19. So my trade plans this week. I'm thinking about Hughes as mentioned, but now with Colo likely out, I'll need an edge. And I need a centre for 18, and Howard fits the bill. He's priced at 30, averaged 37 last year at centre, and he averages 36 this year in games over 70 minutes. He had a 17-minute game in round 7 and came back in round 13 for a 27 and a 30 in 14. Seems like a no-brainer, with Storm having a nice run home as well. He could be great value. He's not a massive scorer with 2 60s and a 52, his highest 3 in the last 2 years. But he'll do a job and provide an emergency option in my 19th slot. Most likely on the chopping block are Colo and King Tongia. I'll have to work through my buy planner, but this way I have ZDC for hooker, Jazz, Tarps and May in the mids, Aitken, Couch at edge, Foggs and Hughes in the halves, Houth and Garrick at centre, and Teddy Turbo at the back, with the addition of another wing fullback out of Drinkwater, Carraz or Paps, whoever has the best value. I'm guessing Drinkwater will have plummeted by then and I can pick him up cheap. Looking at the run home table, which has been updated with the current standings. Warriors still comfortably on top, but I'll assess who the best option is come round 19. Panthers at number 2, it's easy to know who to pick here with Cleary and Yo the standouts, with Edwards a nice pot option at the back. The worst run home belongs to the Seagulls, hence me planning to jump off them in 19. And Knights with the second worst run home doesn't look great for Sharp and Lucas, but they are guns, so probably not worth trading unless there is a significant upside play to be had. So this is how my round 16 lines up, with Clark at hooker, May the obvious captaincy choice again, and Tapani as vice being in the first game. Haas hopefully backs up. Aitken and Howarth in the edges. Looping Fogarty, if he scores 45 or above I'll take it, otherwise I'll bring in Hughes. The reason for jumping on Hughes is the low break even, so I don't want to miss the cash rises. Katoa the other half. Farnworth and Lucas in the centres, Sharp, Campbell and Teddy at the back, with Fletcher Hunt to come in if Sharp is out. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.